Eucharist is one of these deals. And the next one, you mentioned it earlier, Hussam, is Marino. If they're able to then bring in Marino, along with, say, Eucharist and Calafiori, how good a summer, in your opinion, is that for the Gunners?
That's a 10 out of 10 summer right there. And that's why earlier on, when I was talking about the Calafiori priority conversation, I was simply talking about, like, you know, just getting the house in order the correct way. But at the end of the day, if you get all the furniture in there, the TV, it doesn't matter if you get it done eventually. So I can't criticize the Arsenal window before 31st of August because they need, I think, you know, a couple of players. But that'll be a 10 out of 10 window right there. And I think, to be honest with you, Mikel Merino actually suits Arsenal a lot more than a Zubimendi would, because they already have a Zubimendi. They already have, you know, players like that. No, sorry, actually, I think okay, wrong club in my mind. My bad. But I think Merino would.
Zubimendi,
No, I do rate Zubimendi. I just don't think Zubimendi fits everyone as people think. Because Zubimendi, listen, here's the thing. I'll give an example. I use my club as an example. We have McAllister. Why the fuck would I want Zubimendi? They're the exact type of player. But for Arsenal, it's different because they have Declan Rice. Now, I think Arsenal can go down two routes here. If they want the quote-unquote party replacement that can pass the football and that can keep the ball and that can keep possession and dictate tempo and all that shit, I think Zubimendi would be a great signing for them. Now, if they want to go down the beast mode route of just defending the shit out of teams and destroying them on the counter-attack, then Merino makes so much sense. I take Merino at my football club tomorrow. I think he's a monster. And I said this before, and I'm going to make the claim here. I think if Arsenal sign Mikel Merino and that back six stays fit, they could break the Chelsea 15 goals record. I said it. I think it's a possibility. Yes, I think it's a possibility. They could actually break the record of goals conceded, because when you look at the left back, you have Calafiori over there, great on the ball, great defender, great in the one-on-ones. Ben White down the right-hand side, same thing, but not as good as on the ball as Calafiori. You have Gabriel and Saliba, who both are very good centre-backs. Raya, listen, he might concede a goal here or there based on a mistake and stuff, but he's an okay goalkeeper. He's a good goalkeeper, you know, good to very good level. But the two DMs right in front of them as well, if you have Rice and Merino and that back four, who the fuck is going to break that shit down right there? You would need some good fucking football to break down that. That's a wall. Arteta is actually, like, I think he's taken inspiration from Donald Trump because he's building a wall. He's building a wall right there. That's a fucking wall. That's not like, think about it. You have four center backs and in front of them, two tanks in Rice and Merino. Those six are going to be very hard to break down. That's not easy whatsoever. Think about this logically. And for me, look, if they stay fit, they could break the 15 goals record. I'm just saying.
Okay. Big claim. I actually have a little bit of a different opinion about 10 out of 10. And I said it yesterday and people don't like it. I think Arsenal should move away from a lot of ifs. Arsenal should move away from Emil Smith-Rowe. That talent is undeniable, but he has been for 2 seasons now hindered with injuries. And Fabio Vieira has been proven not to do it in the Premier League. These are 2 guys that are on the books. They are counted as midfielders at Arsenal. Arsenal should at least sell one of them and get another midfielder in. I don't know who is the midfielder in, but if Arsenal go in with Mikel Moreno, Rice, and Odegaard, that looks like a fantastic midfield with Thomas Partey fit. But I'm worried about the extra games in the Champions League. When Arsenal should go, Arsenal theoretically, we are assuming they should go further in the cups. So that's even more games than last season. They should be moving on from Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe. They should get a Mikel Merino, which is a cheap deal, and still get another midfielder to replace one of Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe. Because Emil Smith-Rowe is just a big risk. He was the guy that was very talented out of him and Saka in the youth teams, but he never made it. Which is, you can see him that he's a talented footballer, but it never happened for him, you know? I think that Arsenal should, especially because Thomas Partey, even if he runs down his contract, they will need to replace Thomas Partey anyway. It can be Declan Rice. I think Arsenal shouldn't go next season because that would be Arsenal's like 5th season with Arteta, 5th season. There shouldn't be a lot of ifs. There is Thomas Partey, if he stays fit. If Fabio Vieira can play well. If Emil Smith-Rowe comes back to its form from 3 years ago. That's 3 ifs in the midfield that had Kai Havertz shoehorned into it last season. There should be affirmative decisions in this Arsenal midfield. You should have 5 ready players or 6 ready players for that midfield, along with maybe 1 player that you're not sure about. But if Thomas Partey gets injured, you're going back to basically Jorginho as the DM or Rice rotation. I think one of them should move. They should move it on from him. To be honest, they should accept the bid.
They are
selling for 40 million.
Yeah, but they are selling players. I mean, it looks like Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah are both going to go as an example. I haven't read anything about Fabio Vieira and bids coming in. I think with Smith Rowe, it's more about getting some names in first. And I think that they're lining that up. But I do get where you're coming from. But I don't think there's many if, buts, or maybes about Arsenal. They're in the title race no matter what. The only if is signing these players, because that's the only bit that isn't there. But if they can bring in someone of a Gyökeres level, a Marino level, with what they've already got, Calafiori coming in, I don't know about them breaking the 15-goal record, because that's exceedingly hard to do.
But why is it crazy though? Think about it. Is it crazy?
Well, it isn't crazy when you look how good they are defensively. The reason why I say it's very hard to do is that record is absolutely phenomenal, and
it is.
It came in an era. I mean, it came in an era. I mean, I just don't know. I actually don't know if today's centre backs and defenders are as good as the defenders from that era. So I don't know whether it's actually possible.
But the forwards aren't as good as the forwards from that era.
True,
either.
but we also play with much higher lines now than we used to, which means everybody's defenders are more exposed. But listen, I think they'll have a tremendous defensive record next year if they get the midfield they're looking at as well. Arsenal, without doubt, a bit beyond the threat next year. I think anyone that's thinking they're going to fall apart, they're going to regress, they're not. I think they're absolutely mad for thinking that. It's wishful thinking, as opposed to what anybody believes. I'm going to go to some of the comments that have come through, as I don't want to ignore what you've all said. And a massive super chat came in earlier from Elisa, so thank you very much. And it says it's a £50 donation, which is huge. So thank you very much. It says with Calafiori in, Kivior is redundant. Zinchenko's profile is the unique one, hence why he'll stay. He can play in the midfield. He can play in those other roles as well. Good luck to the opposition predicting how Arsenal will build up. Left central midfield, more crucial to Arsenal than a marquee forward, fixes the left-hand side dynamic. And listen, I get where you're coming from with that. And we spoke about it on here in terms of getting that midfielder in that maybe makes the team even more balanced. Could be very, very crucial for you. Do you think it's more important than a striker, boys?
One of the things that Hussam, I think, didn't mention, and I think he's forgetting. You remember the season when Arsenal lost the league over the last 8 games when Saliba got injured? At the current moment, without Calafiori, Arsenal don't have the replacement for Gabriel and Saliba. Saliba played every single minute in the Premier League last season. Arsenal with Calafiori, right? They have the backup for the center backs as well, which is they didn't have. It was Kivior who played as a center back last season when Gabriel was out. I believe Calafiori is so important to Arsenal, not only as a left back, as also a backup center back in the heart of a defense, who he played, by the way. There's a massive, people say Timber has been injured. Calafiori played on the second most progressive team in Serie A last season in terms of ball position. So he is used to defending in high lines, in a lot of spaces. He already did that. So I think it's an absolutely amazing signing.
But in terms of the left center midfielder, though, I disagree. In terms of the left center midfielder, I disagree. I still think the striker is a lot more important, because you guys need to understand something. It's a domino effect. It alleviates pressure off of Saka. This is something people don't get. When we had Mane alone before Mo Salah, all the pressure was on Mane. I'll give you an example. In January, when Mane went to AFCON, we lost every single game in 16-17. The year before Mo Salah came in, we lost literally every single game in January. And then Mane came back, and then we beat Spurs 2-1. He scored twice. So you need someone to alleviate pressure off Saka. So I think that's just... Listen, both of these positions, in my opinion, are more important than left back. So those two are what you need to do. So
I get that. Elisa, thank you so much for that super chat. It's so very, very, very generous of you. Wilton here. So Wilton Smith says, I'm shocked that Arsenal hasn't put in a bid for Lookman. He's the perfect backup for Saka. He plays both left and right forward for 30 million, I'll think would be the perfect fit.
Wilton, you need to have some shame. You need to have some shame. Don't do this. Don't do this just because he scored. Just because he scored the hat-trick in a Europa League final does not mean that he does that week in, week out. If he did that week in, week out, or played at that level week in, week out, then Real Madrid would want him and he'd be running for Ballon d'Or. Let's not do that. Lookman's already played in the Premier League. He's a good player, nothing more, nothing less. Don't be reactionary, Wilton. Man said Ademola Lookman. Come on, man. Come on.
Facts checker here says, Terry, yesterday you mentioned that Arsenal should overpay to get Nico Williams, but now you're saying the opposite. So firstly, I didn't say they should overpay on the market value. I said they should pay his buyout clause, which is £49 million, which I actually think is below his market value. What I did state is that I think they can afford and stay within PSR to pay him the going rate for a player of his quality, potential, and commercial value. So that costs 250, 300k a week. I believe they'll be well within inside PSR regulations, especially as you're getting a player well below his market value. So I'm not stating that they at no point did I say that they should overpay for Nico Williams. I've said that they should pay the going rate to get it done. There's a fundamental difference between those two things. So thank you for the challenge. Do you guys think Darwin last season would have helped Arsenal win the league? If we had him, would he have made a 3 points difference?
That's a
Didn't he score more than ever?
End the stream. End the stream right now. End the fucking stream. End it. End it. I cannot. Tony, you're my guy. You've always supported Terrace. You've supported my channel as well. You cannot never say that shit ever again. Darwin Núñez cost Liverpool the league to begin with. Never mind helping Arsenal win the fucking league. I don't think we have enough proof that Núñez is better than Nketiah to begin with. Have some fucking shame. Tony, I want you to send a $5 right now super chat apology. I'm sorry. I'm a dumbass. I had a dumb moment right there. You have to take that shit back. That's the worst super chat in your life. I'll be honest with you. The worst super chat ever. Never do that. Never do that.
I think you're missing. It's a joke, I think.
Maybe.
Oh, he ain't joking. He ain't
Maybe. Tevin here says, Don, I would love nothing more than to break that defensive record. It would send Chelsea's fan base into meltdown. Don't see it. I mean, it would. Can you imagine if Arsenal broke it and won the league? Because it's one of Chelsea.
I'm the first one to say this on YouTube. For Arsenal fans, I'm going to say this. I'm a Liverpool fan through and through. I'm just going to say, if you break the defensive record, I'm going to claim it just so we can rattle the Chelsea fans together.
I would keep Zinni and move him into the Xhaka role. Probably better.
That's a good option, to be fair.
Yeah,
to be fair, I
yeah. This here says...